Can everyone see my screen yet? I think we do. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present my internship experience. Today, I will talk about my time at the Open Source Institute working on their flagship project, Cosmic. I will cover the organization, what I have learned, the main tasks I get to work on, and my overall reflection. So let's begin. The Open Source Institute, or OpenSI, is a not-for-profit research and innovation institute based in Canberra. It was established through a partnership between UC, NetApp, and ACT governments. It acts as the bridge between the academic, industry, and the open source community to develop practical and transparent AI solutions. I was assigned to work on the Cosmic project, or short for the Cognitive System for Machine Intelligent Computing. It's an open source framework that integrates specialized AI tools with small language model to help users get explainable, human understandable answers. OpenSI is currently moving Cosmic toward a new production-ready version with modular architecture, which was the main focus of my internships. I was working as the backend and data engineer interns. I worked across multiple repositories, primarily focusing on modernizing the technology stack, designing the new database, and helping refactor the system from a monolith to modular structure for future maintenance. Tools that I get to use during my position were Python, FastAPI, SQL models, PostgreSQL, Docker, UV, and Alembic. One of the most valuable parts of this internship was how much I grew compared to what I knew before. Before, I did have some level of experience using GitHub from working on my personal projects. It's where I learned how to manage different stages of development process by having separate Git branches. However, at OpenSI, I learned how to work with it in a collaborative environment. For example, I create proper branches for each new features or bug fixes, submitting pull requests when it is ready to go, doing one-on-one code reviews, and participating in a full merge process. I also did try to use GitHub Project as a way to manage the amount of work I need to do on my hobby projects. But when working with the Institute, I get to use Jira professionally in the real Agile teams. We worked in 1 to 2 week-long sprints and had weekly stand-up meetings where we discussed current progress, blockers, or any topics that touch the work of multiple team members at the same time. My Docker skill also getting improved a lot by going from basic personal use to manage complex multi-container environments for modular repositories. On the database side, I apply what I learned in the university as well from my side projects to design the core PostgreSQL schema for a production system. This was the very first time I get to take full responsibility in designing a database that would be used for real system. Finally, I gained deep experience in refactoring the code base, which is by breaking down the functional monolith code base into a much cleaner modular version. This was a completely new level of challenge for me since I only get to work on projects that are very small in scale. Now, let me walk you through my main contribution to Cosmic. Firstly, I modernized the project core components by migrating the entire project from traditional pip installation to the new cool kit in the field, the UV Package Manager. By doing this, I also update the project to use the latest Python version within the Docker Compose file. This also leads to some Python package removal due to either outdated or dependency of a bigger libraries. Secondly, I contribute heavily to a large-scale refactoring effort. This involved reorganizing the files and directories, cleaning up the legacy code, and making the project structure consistent across all the modular repo. My biggest single contribution was building the new GitHub repo for Cosmic API all by myself. I set up the entire repo, designed the database schema, and made the architectural decision to use JSONB as one of the columns for chat histories and configuration data. There was some initial hesitation from our lead because it makes the database documentation or data dictionary, if that's more familiar for everyone, slightly harder. But most of the team agree that it's worth for the performance and flexible that it provides, especially for the interface. And along with the repo creation, I then implemented the Cosmic RESTful APIs using Fast API and SQL models, wrote some Alembic migration script to pre-populating some default data, and introduced new data format optimized for the dimension columns data type. Lastly, I created another GitHub repo that acts as the unified space so that new or current developers can start all of our modular components in the smoothest way. And of course, there were heap tons of challenges when I get to work on all of these tasks. Some of the common ones were when I dealt with dependency conflicts during the Docker build, complex object relational management queries due to the JSONB fields, Alembic migration script issues, and lots of import errors during the refactorings. From here, I get to learn the hard way on how to systematically debug by reading error message carefully, searching for documents, and sometimes just reading the source code from the library itself. This hands-on troubleshooting significantly improved my problem-solving abilities. And overall, my contribution helped reduce the project build time, create a cleaner and more maintainable code base, and set a solid foundation for the new production version of Cosmic. This directly supports OpenSI's mission to build scalable and transparent open source AI tools. On a personal level, I can see how much I have gained during the internship compared to what I have learned in UC coursework and my self-learning journey as well. As you can see in this comparison table, in UC, on my personal project, I get to learn theoretical foundations of database design, architecture, and basic tools through assignments and small-scale projects. But at OpenSI, I get to apply those concepts at a much more practical level. As mentioned in a couple slides back, those are designing a production-ready Postgres SQL schema, making the architectural decision, like using the JSONB columns, and refactoring the full functional system into modular architecture. The biggest difference was the scale and responsibility. Coursework problems were controlled and small, while here I was working on a live open source project with real team collaboration, tight deadlines, and production implications. This internship didn't just reinforce my knowledge, it also leveled me up in technical depth, professional practice, and problem solving. I now feel much more confident and ready for future roles in backend development and data engineer. Thank you very much for listening. I'll be happy to answer any question that everyone have for me today. And just optional, this is the list of resources that I use for the whole presentation. Thank you.